Well, our message to people who are enacting the violence is put down the guns, figure out a different way to communicate and to solve your issues.
That message in some cases appears to be falling on deaf ears. Metro Police are now investigating 4 more gun deaths that happened over the weekend as Indianapolis continues on a record pace for homicides this year. Good afternoon. I'm Meredith Barrick. 10 people were shot within the 48-hour span of Saturday and Sunday in Indianapolis. 4 of those shooting victims died. It has police and others working hard, not just to solve the cases, but also to figure out what is leading to all the gunfire. On the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com, we are tracking everything that happened across the city this weekend. As you can see, the gunfire on Saturday and Sunday happened across several parts of Indianapolis. The first homicide happened Saturday morning near 38th Street and North Emerson Avenue. That shooting left 28-year-old Adrian Love Jr. dead and 1 other person in critical condition. Later, Saturday evening, officers on the east side were called to Forest Avenue near East Washington Street and North Rural Street for another homicide. 34-year-old Richard Williams Jr. was found dead in front of a house. Then around 6 o'clock last night, police say 33-year-old Hanson Arnold was found dead from multiple gunshot wounds. That shooting happened on the northeast side near East 36th Street and North Lehman Avenue. Then around 11:30 last night, police were called to Hillside Avenue near 38th and Keystone. A man was found dead in the street. Police have not yet released his identity.
It's discouraging for sure. I mean, the officers are doing exactly what we asked them to do. Like I said, they're going into the neighborhoods. They're identifying the people who are responsible for the violence. They're offering wraparound services. The officers here on North District literally carry bags of food in their car. At any point in time, they're ready to connect people with, any kind of treatment, any kind of resources that they would need at all to improve their quality of life. And so violence like this is discouraging to us.
The weekend killings bring the total number of homicides in Indianapolis to 33 this year. That is more than twice as many reported during the same time period last year. So what is happening on the ground in these neighborhoods that might be leading to gun violence? It's something that community groups across the city have been working on for years now. Circle Up Indy is one of those groups. They hold the Indy Peace Festival every year, among other activities. James Wilson is the group's founder. James, hard to believe that here we are a Monday morning again with 4 people dead. We just went through this with that quadruple homicide not long ago. What is your group doing? What are your thoughts on this?
What our group doing, we're really focusing on hitting hard on economics. We're moving away from program-based. Not that the programs are not important, they are, but there's so many partners that we work with to kind of get people into programs. But we're hitting hard on the key things: housing and jobs, and many others, making sure they have a stable life and look for self-sustainability in the future.
Now, you guys are out on the streets talking to people. What are you hearing from the folks that live in these communities that have been impacted by this sudden surge in violence?
They're not happy. They're scared. You don't know if you walk outside what's going to happen. And most of the time, a lot of situations are targeted, but families are scared. They don't know what's actually going on out here. They don't want their kids to get hurt. They don't want to be on TV talking about the loved ones that they lost. They're looking beyond change. We always speak on change, but I'm very focused on self-evolution. Evolution is important. And so we can't keep pointing a finger at law enforcement and many others. And this is coming directly from the community. We have to start taking a look at self.
Now, speaking of law enforcement, city leaders, what do you hope to see from them here over the next few months? I mean, obviously, we are seeing numbers that we should not be seeing here middle of February.
I mean, the reality is this: we can't really look to, the city leaders and law enforcement to solve our community issues. It's not going to happen. Everybody in the community is trying to work together, all the different organizations, the grassroots. We're pushing really hard to get us to have strong emphasis of working together to tackle those issues. Law enforcement and law enforcement and the politicians only come in the aftermath. So after the shooting happened, you get a phone call. They can't predict what's going to happen. It's on us because we know what happens. We see what takes place, and we see the lead-ups to each situation.
Okay, very, very quickly, we are about to run out of time. How can people get in touch with you if they want to get involved with your organization or receive help from you all?
Absolutely. They can get a hold of me at jwilson@circleupindy.com, or they can text me 317-688 648-9775.
All right, get in contact with you easily. All right, James, thank you so much. And
thank you.
Hopefully we don't have to continue to have these conversations this year. All right, we do want to take a turn now, though. The clouds are moving in here to central Indiana as we are expecting some rain in the next hour or so. Meteorologist Todd Clausen keeping a close eye on that radar this afternoon.
Yeah, you definitely need to have the umbrella handy if you're going to be out and about. Really, from this point forward, most of central Indiana is still dry, but we're still starting to get our first rain showers here on the far western portion of the state, and these showers will just increase in coverage as the day starts to go on across the area. So if you are going to be out and about, you definitely need to have the rain jacket. These showers stretch all the way through portions of Illinois, and they'll continue to make their way through our area during the course of the afternoon and evening. Now, here's the good news. Temperatures are well above freezing, so this will be an all-rain event for us, even tonight after sunset. In fact, Bloomington, Columbus into the mid to upper 40s now, a little colder to the north still at 37 degrees. Here's the time frame. Most of the rain will hold off until after sunset, or at least the heaviest or the steadiest rain. It's just some spotty showers throughout the afternoon hours, but after sunset, it's a new ball game. Could be some pockets of moderate rainfall. This rain will continue off and on into Tuesday morning. The good news is it is out of here by Tuesday morning's commute. After that, we actually have a decent forecast going forward through the middle of the week. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. An arrest has been made in the 5th homicide that happened in Marion County over the weekend. Police in Beech Grove say the victim's 16-year-old nephew is in custody and is facing a preliminary murder charge. The shooting happened just before 10:30 Sunday morning at Beach Meadow Apartments on Diplomat Court near Beech Grove High School. Police say 28-year-old Devon Ford was found dead of a gunshot wound in his bed. Relatives on scene told us the nephew initially blamed the shooting on 3 men. Right now, police say it's still unclear what led to that shooting. Today, Americans who had been quarantined aboard a cruise ship in Japan are back in the U.S., but we also know more than a dozen of them are battling the coronavirus. Those passengers were kept apart from the others on the flight and are now being placed in isolation here at home. ABC's Trevor Alt tells us there are also more concerns about the spread of the virus around the world.
Today, 300 U.S. passengers from the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan are back on American soil, now in quarantine at a pair of military Air Force bases in California and Texas.
Okay, here's my room. It's actually quite amazing.
Mark Jorgensen was on board one of the flights back.
There was an isolation section that was all tented off. They took temperatures, and if you had a high temperature, you went into that isolation booth.
At least 14 of those passengers have tested positive for the coronavirus and will remain in isolation in the U.S., though it's unclear where. The uninfected cruise ship passengers will be placed in quarantine on those 2 military bases for 2 weeks. And globally, there have now been more than 71,000 cases of coronavirus, including 1,700 deaths, and concern is only mounting that the virus will continue to spread. Over the weekend, on another cruise ship in Cambodia, an 83-year-old American was diagnosed with coronavirus just 1 day after more than 2,200 passengers and crew disembarked from the ship, many of them already traveling to other destinations around the world.
This might be the tip of the iceberg phenomenon. We really need to know how many people are exposed, how many people are infected, and how many people are sick. And if the number's sick, in this case, 1, remember, tip of the iceberg.
The Americans under quarantine will be closely monitored by medical professionals while they wait on those Air Force bases. By the time they're released, they'll have been under quarantine for about a month. Trevor Alt, ABC News, New York.
There is no shortage of apps and websites dedicated to helping you find love online, but that also means there's no shortage of people trying to steal your money. Next, we've got some tips on how to keep the scammers from taking advantage of your search for a soulmate. Todd.
And as you walk out the door this afternoon, you need to grab the umbrella. You'll definitely need it at some point this afternoon. And if not this afternoon, this evening as a more steady rain develops. We'll talk all about it in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6.
New Bachelor, ABC Tonight.
Time now for an RTV6 Consumer Alert. Joining me in studio today is Tim Maniscalco with the Better Business Bureau. Tim, we know Valentine's Day, love is in the air, and you say this is the time of year when these so-called romance scams really creep up.
Yeah, what we see is, like you say, you think the entire world is in love and you're not the only one, or you're the only one who's not in love with someone. The scammers know that, and they really prey on people this time of year. So we do see an uptick in romance scams this time of year. In fact, FTC reported that in 2019, Americans lost $200 million to romance scams. So it is very prevalent out there. There are people here in central Indiana that we know of that have lost thousands of dollars. So bottom line here is just make certain that if you get some unsolicited email or something from someone, don't be sending money to strangers that you don't know. Make certain that you are very careful on what you put out there on social media, because they see that and then that's used against you. So, you know, they can get a lot of personal information from you. Sounds like they know you, and it's really something that they're going to use against you. Don't believe everything you see. They're going to send these pictures that it looks like, you know, a great person. They've just taken those off the internet. That's not the real person out there. And then watch for red flags. If someone is not willing to meet you in person, you know, do something that can really identify who they are and really verify that they truly have an interest in you. Those are just real red flags. They're going to keep delaying. They're going to keep giving you excuses. As long as you send them money, you know, they'll tell you how much they love you, but they really don't exist. So this time of year, we just see a lot of that, and people are very vulnerable to that because you think the entire world's in love and you're left out, so you want to be part of that. So scammers know that.
Tim, thank you so much. This has been an RTV6 Consumer Alert.
The campaign speeches are getting hot as we inch closer and closer to more votes being cast. Up next, a look at this weekend's caucuses in Nevada and how the former South Bend mayor is trying to make up ground against the frontrunner. We'll be right back.
Keller and Keller.
I'm Ted Rollins. Today on Court TV, jurors are set to start deliberating the fate of Harvey Weinstein. They'll get the chance tomorrow after the judge instructs them on the law. New York prosecutor Joe Naluzzi gave a passionate closing argument on Friday, calling Weinstein a predator, saying the 6 women who testified against Weinstein had no reason to lie. Weinstein's defense team believes the evidence just isn't there.
You know, the evidence came in the way we thought it was going to and the way we wanted it to. I think the jury's going to have a lot to talk about, but at the end of the day, I don't think the state proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt. We're hoping they come back with a verdict that supports that.
Great. And how's Harvey feeling right now?
You know, I think anybody would be nervous in this situation, but he's hanging in there as he has the whole trial, and looking forward to getting this chapter behind him.
We're also covering the Ice Cream Man murder trial in Tampa, Florida. Michael Keeley is facing double murder charges and 4 counts of attempted murder for what prosecutors say was a revenge-filled shooting spree back on Thanksgiving morning in 2010. We'll have continuing coverage of both trials throughout the day on Court TV. Now back to you.
Ted, thanks. You can learn about other court cases happening around the nation right now at courttv.com. We're just 5 days away from the next presidential contest in Nevada, and the battles are brewing between candidates competing in that state's caucuses and one who is not. Senator Bernie Sanders appears to be the favorite to win this coming Saturday's vote. But former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg is among those targeting Sanders and his Medicare for All plan. Sanders narrowly had more overall votes than Buttigieg in Iowa and New Hampshire, but Buttigieg says he doesn't believe Sanders' health care message will win enough mainstream votes in November to get to the White House.
And this is just one example of an issue where we have this my way or the highway politics that suggests to people that, you know, if you're not with me, you must be against me. If you're not for the revolution, you must be for the status quo. And I think most of us don't see ourselves in that picture.
Meanwhile, Sanders is also pushing back against the campaign of billionaire Mike Bloomberg. The former New York City mayor is not competing in Nevada or the South Carolina primary that follows, but Bloomberg is spending hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising in the states holding Super Tuesday primaries on March 3rd. The rain has been relentless in parts of Mississippi. Many neighborhoods near the Pearl River already swamped, and evacuations in flood zones have been ordered. The river is expected to reach its highest level in 4 decades later today. Parts of the Mississippi state capital of Jackson are submerged and hundreds of homes remain at risk. The heavy rain is also causing problems in Tennessee. Watch this as the saturated ground gives way, causing a house to plunge down an embankment. It was one of 2 homes to slide into a river. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Here at home, it is Almost time for the rain to fall here. We are roughly, about 40 minutes away before we can expect to see some rainfall depending on where you live, Todd.
Yeah, there's some showers already on the western side of the state, but we're not going to see any flooding rains like they've had. This is generally going to be a light but steady rainfall that is going to develop across the area. And you notice our rain chances continue to ramp up as we head into the evening hours. So after sunset is going to be the wettest part of the day, and then we'll start to taper off the showers as we get towards the morning commute tomorrow for your Tuesday. Outside right now, here's the view downtown. It's still dry, but the clouds have moved in after some welcome sunshine earlier this morning. The temperature sits at 41 degrees. The wind is out of the southeast at 10 miles per hour. And you notice the temperatures anywhere you go are above freezing, and that's key, obviously, anytime this time of year when we have precipitation moving in. 47 in Bloomington, 45 right now in Bedford. A little cooler to the north, still 37 in Peru. And high temperatures today will go up a couple more degrees, probably about to 47, 48 degrees in Indianapolis, but that actually is going to occur as we get closer to the midnight hour. So here's Storm Team 6 radar right now. Some light showers in Terre Haute stretching now into Brazil, as well as Greencastle into the Spencer area. And then to the north, there's a few spotty showers or some patchy light drizzle up towards Monticello and the Logansport area. And this precipitation will continue to advance to the east as we work our way throughout the evening hours as this storm system swings through. This is the initial shot of the shower activity, and then what you see near Omaha, that is going to swing through later on this afternoon and into the evening hours. So let me time it out for you. As we work our way into the 7, 8 o'clock hour, this is when the showers kind of pick up. The one thing we'll have to watch is there may be a pretty sharp cutoff in the precipitation across the southern portion of central Indiana. So for those of you in Bloomington, Columbus, and Seymour, you may not get into quite as much in the way of rainfall from Indianapolis to the north. In fact, you may not get into any rain until after the midnight hour as the front goes through. So here we are at 6 o'clock. Unless you're getting out on the roads tomorrow at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, the longer you can hold off, the drier your commute will be as those rain showers move out. But this evening, have the umbrella handy. Temperatures hold pretty steady in the mid-40s heading into the day tomorrow. Most of those showers, again, gone by the morning commute. Temperatures tomorrow in the morning are going to be warmer than the evening hours. We start in the 40s, and then we'll fall into the upper 30s. But once the clouds move out on Tuesday, we get a pretty bright stretch of weather that's going to take us Wednesday all the way into the weekend. It's been a while since we've strung this many days together of sunny, dry weather. It will be a little on the cooler side, though, with temperatures below normal in the 30s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
All right, Todd, thank you. Still ahead on the news at noon, it was NBA All-Star Weekend, but a high school basketball player had his own take on a dunk contest that has the country talking. We're not going to spoil that for you quite yet. This is a live look in Bloomington at the IU campus. We'll have that story and one more check your forecast coming up. You're watching the news at noon on RTV6.
Visit ChooseYourChevy.com.
The NBA had their turn at slam dunk stardom this past weekend during the All-Star Game festivities in Chicago, but no one at the slam dunk contest pulled this off. A high school game in Greensboro, North Carolina may have been the scene of the slam of the season. Watch this dunk from Christian Hampton. And the backboard done for the night. Hampton Slam did score 2 points for the Northwest Guilford High School this past Friday night, but the shattered backboard meant they had to wait until Saturday to finish their game against Grimsley High School. Hampton did get to keep some of the glass from the backboard. Oh, he did get some in his eye. He didn't sustain any serious damage. Hopefully they let him keep a little bit of that because that's really impressive. Right? I mean, not what you set out to do, but still, wow, that takes some strength.
Bankers Life Fieldhouse probably some backup backboards they can bring in pretty quickly. Not so much in a high school.
Yes,
though.
yeah. So. All right, way to go.
We're going to be out this afternoon. Have the umbrella handy. Rain is getting ready to move in. Once it starts in your neighborhood, we'll deal with it off and on this afternoon, but it comes pretty steady this evening. The good news is it's gone by tomorrow morning's commute.
All right. Thank you, Todd. Thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. We hope to see you back here at 5. Stay dry this afternoon and have a good one.